Hey guys, this is part 5 of my Distinctive Dummies videos. We're going to look at the 2-packs. Check this one out first. This is a nice one, Dracula AD 1972, with a little older Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. Nice card art. Let's take a look at these sculpts here. Some streaks of gray and Christopher Lee's hair. Oh, come on, you can focus. And there's Cushing's Van Helsing. There we go, there's Christopher. Nice clothing. Full set. Here's the back. More good card art. This is number 18 of 75. Let's see, artwork by Ron Gearing. I think he was a sculptor too. These are sculpted by Steve Thompson. Steve Thompson really did excellent work as a sculptor for Distinctive Dummies. And, well, let me let you see that again. There's Caroline Monroe. And, man, that's just really great. Great effort on that art. Now, this is Hammer's first movie that was set in present day, back when the movie came out. Before that, they had been period pieces from the previous century. Classic Gothic horror, but Dracula AD 1972 brought Dracula in against one of Van Helsing's descendants, present day. Okay, now here is this one, Curse of the Werewolf. Leon and a werewolf. Okay, now the same actor, Oliver Reed, played both of these characters. And you know, that version of the Hammer werewolf there is really good, from the sculpt and painting on the head and the claws and all. And the clothing looks good. He's just bulked up too much. I prefer the single figure of the Hammer werewolf. And you can see that in part 2 of these videos. And there he is when he's not the werewolf, Leon. And you know, I mean, this werewolf, he's bulked up so much that you can't really put his hands down to his side very well. It's kind of like Randy from A Christmas Story. You know, once in a while, Distinctive Dummies had a little hiccup like that. And a lot of people just went in, you know, and removed some of the padding or stuffing or whatever. But I don't know, I just like to keep my toys the way they were when I first got them. Now, I do have some custom toys that I made, but unless I made the toy, I don't like to tinker with it. You know, by make, I mean put together a custom play set or draw custom packaging or something like that. I don't 3D print or mold anything. I just put stuff together and make customs sometimes. Now this is number, I think that's supposed to be a 23. It looks like 83, but it can't be because it's of 75. So there again, you've got indistinct application of the Sharpie there. Anyway, you're going to run into stuff like that. These are practically customs, you know, there's so few of them made. And these are sculpted by Steve Thompson as well, with artwork by Ron Gearing. And you know, except for the over bulking up of the werewolf, I mean, this is a great set too. This is probably the weakest of the 2-packs, in my opinion, because of that bulking. But anyway, I'm glad I got it. Now, the 2-packs, they originally sold for around $140, I think. And, of course, the DD prices included free shipping. Nowadays, on the secondary market, they vary widely. You can't, I doubt if you're going to find a 2-pack for less than $200, and most of the time they're a lot more than that. Okay, let's look at The Curse of Frankenstein. Now, this is one of my favorites. Baron Frankenstein and the Creature. Of course, these two characters were done before, and you can see them in that part 2 video of mine featuring the Distinctive Dummies hammer figures. This is an alternate version of the Creature from the movie in the bandages. Before, you know, they took those off and put clothes on. You know, the climactic scene where he rips the bandage off, the big close-up zooms in of his face, his horrible face, which is really sculpted well. And that's a good cushioning there with got the sideburns going on and all that. That rat, Baron Frankenstein. It looks like Ron Gearing did this art again. And these came out much later than the first run of the Hammer Mego style, I mean the Distinctive Dummies Mego scale figures, which I actually started, I think, around 2012. But these were like maybe 3 or 4 years later, I want to say. Don't remember exactly. And yes, artwork by Ron Gearing. And it does not say who the sculptor was. Limited edition 29 of 75. Might have been Steve Thompson again. Surprised they left that off. Usually they credit that in these later releases. Those are excellent. And that one sells for a decent price too when it pops up, you know, usually around, I don't know, $300 or $400. Okay, now this one is exceedingly expensive when it ever comes up. Salem's lot. You've got Richard Straker and Kurt Barlow, the vampire, from the classic 2-part series that showed on television based on the Stephen King novel. That's James Mason, I think, playing Straker. And now I've got the 12-inch Kurt Barlow, and I showed that in the last video. The part 4. Great art. Very nice. Looks like Gearing's work again on the art. Number 8 of 75. Yeah, these are sculpted by Steve Thompson. Artwork Ron Gearing. Really cool. And another thing that makes these particular, these 2-packs cool, they have this extra piece of plastic inside the bubble here that holds the figures in place so they don't move around and get out of place and all that. You know, really works out nicely. Probably a specific name for that piece of plastic, but I don't know what it is. If any of you guys know, let me know in the comments. All right, now this is the last one of my 2-packs. There are many more, and you know, it's kind of hard to come up with 140 bucks sometimes, so I just had to get my favorites when I had the money. And this, man, I'm glad I got this one. This Kolchak, the Night Stalker set. Looks like Gearing's art again. Yeah, this has good old Carl Kolchak. Favorite reporter and monster hunter of many of us. That's a good likeness of McGavin, Darren McGavin. And here is Barry Atwater as Janos Scorzini. And you get Carl's hat. You got to get the straw hat. And the cross. And the recorder. And the camera. It's kind of hard to see all that in there with the reflection from that plastic. But there it is. And the seersucker suit. Which is very well done. This is just a beautiful set. And these command quite the price. I mean, I've only seen this 2-pack come up, I think, maybe twice. And like that Salem's lot, the price gets up around 4 digits. It's, you know, I wouldn't be able to touch it now. I'm just glad I got it back when I could afford it. And that is number 28 of 50. Only 50 of these. Artwork by Ron Gearing. I don't know if Steve Thompson was responsible for the sculpting of these or not, but boy, they are nice, especially the Kolchak. I mean, I can't get over how much that looks like Darren McGavin, you know. Very nice. And let's take a look at this guy. Now, this is not a 2-pack, of course. It's just a single figure, but I'm showing this because it goes so well with that 2-pack. This is Dr. Richard Malcolm, who is the villain slash monster from the Night Strangler. And he could have easily been 1/2 of a second 2-pack if DD had have gone that route. But they just made some single figures. They made single figures of Kolchak. I think they also made Scorzini. I'm not sure, but they, of course, did this one. Maybe in lieu of a 2-pack involving this. But, you know, this is the guy that lived, I think, in underground Seattle and killed people for some of their bodily fluids, like, was it spinal fluid? Maybe he was a doctor, and he had devised this alchemical concoction to make himself immortal. Every few years, he had to, you know, he had to give himself an injection of this formula. And he killed people and took their bodily fluids for the potion or whatever, you know, the drug to keep himself immortal. Kolchak found out about it and went after him and did what he does. He stopped him. Number 47 of 60 on that one. And that is artwork by Ron Gearing, once again. So there we go. From the Night Strangler. His, you know, he's looking monstrous with his figure because this is after he'd started to age when Kolchak prevented him from using his formula. Ordinarily, he just looked like, I think Richard Anderson played that character, who also played Oscar Goldman in The $6 Million Man. All right, so that is a look at the 2-packs, and this is part 5 of my Distinctive Dummies videos. Next is the last Distinctive Dummies video, and it involves everything else. The you know, the odd figures that didn't fit in one of my categories. So keep on monstering.